All right, let's talk about Ciel. So for the thing with Ciel is your main neutral tool half the time is either grounded keys, which you're typically doing with 214B, or 236A, which has its own style of keys and things you can do off of it. So we'll start with this. In the neutral at round start, you're either going to be running close to people and doing the 5A match war. You might be trying to stay away if they have a better close-up game than you. If they're range, you're definitely going to be sticking closer to them. And then for the characters that can do a little bit of both, it'll be a little bit of both. Maybe a little runaway, maybe just staying within a mid-range. When it comes to key, you can start some key shenanigans further out, or you can close the distance. You just have to be careful when your opponent has Moon, because if they have Moon, they have the ability to BC counter off of it, which can be a little dangerous up close. So let me set this to guard, shield, BC. So when you throw a normal key, you can shield back at this range. It is a threat, but if you get caught like this, if you look at Ciel, she cannot shield back, so it's a little more dangerous there. You just have to be more careful. This is less important for these higher up halos, where you can typically be out of range, or you can play around with the BC range. So if they're trying to chase you from farther away, it's not that bad. A lot of things can happen in this situation. People might try to super jump over it. You can EX cancel off your keys. It's a very important thing to note. Unfortunately, you do have to be at like a certain endpoint of the key to get it. So you have to be careful with how you're timing these keys, or otherwise you're not going to get it. But you can see there, I'm trying to get that 2-2C on that second key throw. It's really awkward. You have to wait till the key's kind of out of your hand to get it. You can also do this with Pyro, but it's a little more dangerous in that situation if the opponent gets to the ground in time. Like if you're just a little too late, probably like, I think maybe there would be enough time to block. So just keep that in mind on some approaches. You still have access to 3C, so if you're at this range and they're trying to preempt you to key, you can 3C anti-air. And that does lead into a full combo. You can meet in the air as well if you decide not to throw key. Trying to do 2-on-4C is theoretical, but typically you're going to want to do a reversal to get out of the way. You're not confirming off 2-on-4C anyways, that MD. Off of Halo, Halo can be a good way to catch people chasing you. You can typically confirm off the J6BC follow-up. Just depending on how they bounce is going to be how you do it. Using 236A, you can, and then the A follow-up, you can typically go around your opponent in various different ways. And you also have D-pad control of your initial 236A. So you can use this, like if the opponent knows that you're going to Halo, they might try and like run under you, or try to meet you further away. So you can typically escape out of the way, depending on how they're moving. You can also meet them in the air. There you go. You can meet in the air with the C command grab. And for the most part, you can typically confirm off this with a super, like 236C. If I get into the position, there you go. Or the better punish, you can MD cancel J214A and lead it into a full combo. The corner carry is also like insanely good. That is a good option you could show. Let's talk about AUBs. So you have various different ways you can get AUB on this character. The first one is you can meet in the air and then J6BC. You can also 236BC or not 236BC. You can 22C, which is also a really good one if you can get this. You can't confirm off of it. I think you'd have to MD. But the scaling is still going to be a little there. Be careful about that. You also have 236C MD, which you can then confirm into any normal. Or you can do this into a 2-2A if you're close enough, which can also be confirmed into a normal. The 2-2A one's really good because if you get it, you get a really strong confirm, 4.2. And your opponent just kind of has to hold that. You can also get this off the air keys, so you can do. Go a little closer. There we go. You can do. Oh. Okay, let me get a little closer. Yeah, you can see she's a little off the ground on that, so you're able to get a full punish, even so close, because of just how good the key is to get the block. Or rather, just like the follow-up key, jump cancel, J6BC. To get the punish. You can also, I believe, do this off the normal one if you catch like the start of them jumping. Let me do. There you go. Yeah, you can still kind of get it on those earlier keys as well. So always good to keep both of those in mind as potential options to go for. As for the keys themselves, if you look 214A early, it keeps your momentum for the most part. So if you are going for the wall cling and you do it early, you kind of jump with it. You can also fade with it down if your opponent tries to meet you after. And it kind of covers a little below you in a pretty decent way farther for you. Whereas the other keys stop your momentum completely and then send you back a little bit, which you can use just to empty if you're not expecting them to be able to reach you that far. Or you can jump cancel off it and then do a bunch of other stuff. Otherwise, you have other options out of this Halo. Like earlier, you have throw. You can do the B follow-up, which can also air unblockable if you have the MD, or in some cases, you can do 623C. There we go. And that can lead into a really good full combo. Like 4.4, 1 bar, and then you can make it do 5.8 if you have the full bar. It's pretty good. And yeah, those are like the main things. How you deal with people approaching you is just going to be dependent on who they're playing. So a character like Ciel might want to stay a little more grounded or play in the air, depending on how the other Ciel's playing. Having access to 236C is always a solid check for a lot of things, including your own key. You'll see this a lot as well in the Roa matchup. Roa, you might want to play a mix of like fast and on the ground, because if you are sitting back and you throw key, I'm gonna set the dummy to do 1, 2, 3. He can high roll you out of that. Now, it's not an issue if you have bar. Oh, oops. Because you can EX cancel Hyro. It's a good way to call out someone trying to call out your neutral. And that's going to be a big thing for your neutral in general. There's a lot of characters where your 236C has a lot of priority on folks and would require you to stay more grounded. For example, if you are fighting Red Arcuid, sometimes in the neutral, she's going to be looking for certain things like 4BC, which goes mostly full screen. So if you are chucking key, you can react to it. And because she's in MS or in Moon Skill, she's not able to EX back. One thing you do have to be aware of, though, on these super flashes is, let's say if she does... she can actually MD on this. They can MD on that if they're in a special. So you have to keep check of your resources at all time. And that sets up for all sorts of weird situations depending on where you get it. So if you see people back here doing this and throwing key, just know they're trying to catch people doing things unsafe that you can punish. So let's say we try to do this situation again, but there is no activation on... Oops. There's no activation on the opponent side. That's a free punish. And so you can kind of just layer your keys around them trying to play around you by always threatening with that Hyro 236C. Now you might be saying, well, if it's so good on the ground, why would you go into Kalos? He can still be good to catch people around their movement, whether you have bar or not. You can still work your way around folks. You can also catch people who might want to take advantage of you by chasing you in the air. So this might be a chase that you see that red Arcwoods might do. And by red Arcwoods, I mean specifically Kikoho. So sometimes you can cover that by getting it early enough. Oh. Or you can get around it like that. And then work it into the key. Another big thing is sometimes if they're expecting you to do that, you can just stay grounded. You don't have to commit to it. The biggest thing about Ciel in general is this tool is insanely good, and this tool is insanely good. And so is your ground speed. It's really good. So you can make situations happen. You just have to be aware of them and how your opponent's playing around them. I know we did talk about AUBs earlier, but let me do jump. Oops. You can kind of set up for this by doing like Gatling JAs. I don't think Ciel's the best at doing this. But you can also set up those air-to-air interactions where you do meet in the air. A very good option to look for. Other characters can very much do this too. Wark specifically is a really good example of that. I'm gonna set you to jumping guard. It's like it's just a little higher, and Wark gets that. Having access to J6BC is just a really good option for catching it without that uses your resource, but is still a solid option. And if we're in the corner, you can get it there. I think that'll probably be the more likely situation you find.